What's up, guys? We got another video for you today. More importantly, he got another project. You want to tell him about it?
Yeah, so it's a 1995 M-Edition Mazda Miata, and it is the greatest thing. We literally just bought it like an hour and a half ago.
He is dead serious about that. We went and looked at this car last week, Saturday.
Yes, like 4 days ago.
4 days ago, agreed on a price. We went and picked it up today, and it is probably one of the cleaner Miatas out there, more so in terms of how stock it is. So the only thing aftermarket is the stereo.
Actually, because it came with stock 15-inch BBS wheels. It had stock JBL, I think is the company's stereos. What's in there right now is a aftermarket Kenwood stereo. That actually sounds really nice overall. I had no complaints.
The reason the car came outfitted with this stuff is the fact that it's an M-Edition, so it even has an LSD, and it's a 95?
Yeah, 95.
Yeah, so it has the bigger 1.8 liter engine.
To me, it has a lot of power coming from literally driving the Honda on a regular basis, which has 30 horsepower. This has like 3 to 4 times more. So, you know, it's nice for me and it feels real fast.
That's also a really fair point, because this thing stock has 130 horsepower versus the Acti, which has
37. I'm assuming that's at the crank, and then the car is like 30 years old, so we can just assume it has like 30 to 25, realistically speaking.
So 25, 30 versus probably 100 at the wheels. So that's a substantial upgrade.
Yeah.
All right, Jesus is gonna pop the hood now.
So this is it. Literally nothing's been done. All that needs to happen is just timing belt, fluids, head gasket cover, filters. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And the nice thing about it is the guy that we got the car from had actually planned on doing that stuff, but he didn't. So we ended up with the valve cover gasket, all the fluids. He's going to send us the timing belt kit because that hasn't arrived yet, but
yeah, God knows when that'll arrive though.
Yeah, because with the pandemic that's going around and how California's locked down, so we're in Oregon, but he ordered the stuff from California. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear that engine purr.
It's so like nice, like
it's super quiet.
It sounds good. Like driving it, I didn't feel any issues. I didn't notice any issues.
No. In terms of on startup, really the only thing we hear is a slight rattle from the exhaust. So that could be, my first guess is just like a heat shield is loose somewhere, but it sounds really good. Engine sounds really good though. We don't really hear any like ticks or anything like that. It's pretty solid. So I would like to make a disclaimer. We don't know these cars at all. I mean, as I've been doing motorsports for a few years now, and Miata's like the go-to car, but I've actually never touched one. What about you?
This is my first time ever actually being in one outside of when we test drove it, and let alone driving one. So I've pretty much bought this on a whim outside of like a little bit of research online.
Yeah, so the point is we're both really new to this. It's exciting, actually. The interior itself is actually pretty clean, minus the seat. There's quite a bit of wear, but it's an older car. It's 25 years old.
Yeah, this year actually.
But everything else, super clean on this. The dash isn't even cracking, which is awesome.
Because apparently the car was stored in garage up until about 68,000 miles. And that right now it only has just below 101,000 miles.
So yeah,
it's relatively new to just being outside. So that's really nice.
Right here we have the top cover, the spare tire, the lug nut tool, the batteries from the factory located in the back on these cars. But the carpet's super clean.
So this thing's had a relatively easy life for its age, to be honest.
It seems like it was taken care of, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, so the car is not completely straight. There is some like paint issues here, like bubbling and whatnot.
There's a dent right there.
Overall, I think it would be fair to say that this car is like a good survivor. Just a nice daily driver that was taken care of.
Well, that's pretty much the way I tend to keep it. Is just clean it up, keep it as a daily driver, leave it bone stock. Just because if it's gone 25 years without being modified, it can go another 25. So
as I mentioned earlier, it's not perfect. There's little trim issues, but overall, this car is super solid because we picked it up in Salem, so 30 minutes away, and he drove it back with not a single issue other than rattling, but it is an old car. So this is Asus's new car pretty much. I think it was a really solid purchase.
I'd say it was. I mean, compared to all the other ones I've seen around for sale, it's like, this is a good one. So the ones are like 200,000 miles, boosted, selling for reasons. It's like, all right, come on, we both know the reason here, buddy.
Pretty much highly modified cars and or just weren't taken care of very well.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm curious about is how this compares to my white MR2, and the reason's pretty simple. They're both 5-speed, rear-wheel drive, 4 cylinders, both make similar power. Probably the big difference is this one's front engine and weighs 2,200 pounds maybe. Someone will let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I have no clue how much this thing weighs.
And then I know my white car weighs about 2,700 pounds and is mid-engine, so very similar, but obviously the engine configuration is notably different, so we will definitely compare them. With that being said, if you know anything about Miatas, give us some tips in the comments down below. We would appreciate that as we're learning. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the next video.